Guys, where do I even begin on this one? So if you aren't aware, Roblox is currently hosting the Haunt event, which is a continuation of the other Roblox events that we have had this year, starting with the Hunt, then the Classic, then the Games, and finally now the Haunt. And unfortunately, all of these events have been mediocre at best, with some of them being outright terrible, most notably the Games, the last event we had. It was just terrible. And I've actually made a video going over my critiques of each event on my channel, so if you haven't checked those out already and want to, I'll link them all down below. But in this one, we are going to be talking about the Haunt, because it is the current event on Roblox, and a lot of players are disappointed. And people are so disappointed, in fact, that I'm actually making this video early. See, normally I make these reviewing videos after I've 100% completed the event, but because this event just has so little content, I'm already technically done with it. Or I guess I'm not really done with it, but coming up, I probably have like an hour left of stuff to do, which just is basically nothing when it comes to these events. So yeah, let's just hop right into the reasons why I think that the Haunt event really sucks and may just be the worst out of all 4 of the events. And before we get into all of the negatives, I think it's time to go and look at some of the positives, because this event actually does have quite a few improvements over the last 3 events, and some parts of this event I do actually enjoy. And the first thing that I really like about this event is the hub design, but this is pretty much a given with these Roblox events. Ever since the Hunt event, all 3 of the later events, including this one, have all had really great hubs. And while I think that this hub does not beat the level of quality as the Classic and the Games hub, it is still definitely a pretty good hub, and there's definitely a lot of cool details in it. And another thing that I really liked about this event compared to the last one is the theming, because this event has an amazing theme. It might be the best theme out of all 4 events so far, and that's because people on Roblox, including myself, have been waiting for a Halloween event on Roblox in so long. It's been so many years since we had our last one, so this theming being really Halloween based is definitely a good thing. And in addition to the theming of this event, the promotion for this event was actually pretty good. We had a lot of videos and clips posted to the Roblox socials, and overall it was a major improvement over the Games event. And the final good thing I have to say about this event is I really enjoyed the use of this new technology in the form of capturing screenshots and sending them to the hub game. And I know that the system has its flaws, but I just really like the fact that Roblox is actually experimenting with some new technology on the whole platform and tying it directly into these events. I just think that's a really cool thing. Unfortunately, that is going to be where my positives end for this event, so without further ado, let's get into my critiques. And the first thing that I dislike about this event is the name, and that's because the name just sucks. I just don't understand why Roblox is sticking with the stupid naming theme of doing the followed by a random word that somewhat relates to the event. Just Roblox, please just name these events something else. Okay, well, anyways, the next thing that I have to talk about is the choice of games in this event, and I know that the choice of games in this event doesn't really matter because how this event is designed, you only need to join one of the games to get all of the rewards, but I just want to touch on this point anyways, as it seems like Roblox is just not improving at all when it comes to game selections. Roblox is choosing games such as Slap Battles and Pull a Sword that are just really low effort games in general, in my opinion, and there's just nothing really fun to do in those games, so I'm not sure why Roblox keeps choosing them. Anyways, the next issue we have to talk about is the lack of actual content in this event, and this is probably one of the bigger issues I have, and many others also have in this event, is that there is no content here. Because in this event, the only thing that you actually need to do is go into any of the games, it doesn't matter which one, take a screenshot, and then upload it to the hub, which takes about 30 seconds. And this issue actually ties directly into another issue I have for this event, which is the awful treatment of developers in the event. And now, I'm no developer, of course. I don't have a game in this event, so I don't have any first-hand experience of Roblox's treatment of developers, but what I have seen from games such as Pressure, their devs are really unhappy with Roblox. And I think the main issue here is that Roblox did not inform the developers that this was going to be a costume contest until a few days before the event. And this explains why games such as Pressure, Doors, etc. have all of these really unique quests and unique event areas, yet you don't have to do them at all. Okay, anyways, let's move on to my next issue, which is the poor prize distribution. See, in the other 3 Roblox events, how items worked is that you went into games, you got badges, you came back to the hub, and after a certain amount of badges, you were able to unlock certain items. And I think this is a really good system, as it allows the player to completely get all of the items in the event without having to do every single game and every single quest. However, with this event, they locked the top prizes behind voting, and that's not a good idea. So the only way that you can get every single item in this event is if you are in the top 10% of any of the voting categories, which sucks because 90% of players in this event aren't going to get those top items. And this system is somewhat similar to the MVP system in the games event, where you could only get all of the items if you were an MVP for your team. And the crucial difference between these two systems is that with the MVP system, in order to get the top items, all you had to do was complete more games. However, with this voting system, you all do the same amount of effort. You just take a screenshot in a game, post it, and then from there, it's completely up to people voting to decide whether you get in the top 10% or not. And this leads me straight into my next point, which is that this capture system and whole voting system really sucks. So as of recording this, there are only 2 categories open. We've got the creatures category and the cute category. And you'll notice that the top posts in both these categories aren't really in the top because they are good, but rather because they are funny. Okay, so the top post here is just like a picture of a drawing. I don't know how they took that picture. Second place, literally vote for me in the haunt. Okay. More pictures, some slightly offensive pictures, memes. I don't even, what is this? So basically my point here is that in order to get a top prize in this event, you just need to make a funny post. It doesn't even have to relate to the category at all. So while I do like that Roblox is using this new technology, they need to refine this a lot before they actually use it in an event. And one more thing also is that avatar items on Roblox cost money, so unless you're going into a game that provides you with free tools to try on other avatar items, you are going to have to spend Robux in order to get certain items, which again just seems awfully pay to win and unfair. Okay, another thing that I have grievances with about this event is that the hub, while the design is pretty good, just feels really empty. With this event, most of the hub is literally just locked away behind timers, and that just makes the hub feel very empty and boring. Okay, anyways, on to the last point, which I think also may be the biggest issue with this event, is the communal letdown. Now don't get me wrong, Roblox has let players down with pretty much all of these events, but with this one, I feel like it hits especially hard. And that's because many OG and new players were looking forward to a Halloween event like the good old days. And to find out that this event isn't even an event, but rather just a costume contest, was just a huge letdown to most of the community. And by the way, I'm not necessarily saying that a costume contest event is a bad idea. I just think that with the amount of hype that this event had, turning it into a boring costume contest was not a good decision. So yeah, that's my critique of this Roblox event. Of course, the event is not actually over at the time of recording this, so my opinion may change as the event progresses. So yeah, let me know down in the comments section below if you guys agree with what I'm saying, or if some of my opinions are a little too far-fetched for you, and I'll be sure to check out all of the comments. But for now, this is going to be it for me, so goodbye!